welcome to another episode of Fully Charged. Now, I'm just trying to catch up with all the madcap electric car adventures I've had this year. Now, presently I'm driving in a lovely hybrid Toyota Auris. I've only just got it. I've literally driven 12 miles in it so far. So I'm going to do a proper review of this car later on, but I can honestly say for the first 12 miles it's really nice. I'll tell you the thing I really love is I link my phone up to it really easy, and then I didn't have any wires to plug into the auxiliary feed to play my podcasts or music from my iPhone onto the car. It just did it. It does it through Bluetooth. It does it really well. I didn't even know it would do it. It suddenly started playing a podcast. Fantastic. Anyway, I'm not here to talk about the Toyota Auris today. Hybrid. 57.1 miles per gallon so far. So first up today, earlier this year I met some amazing students from Imperial College London who are presently, I think, about halfway through their drive from Alaska to Chile, and they are following the Pan American Highway in an amazing electric car. And I had one of the first rides in the car. I haven't driven it, but I had a ride in it, and here's my very brief report.
And I mean, presumably the handling and the road holding and all that is exemplary anyway, because I mean, it's such a thin device.
It's a proper sports car.
It's a proper sports car.
We're going to do the M25 twice on one charge tonight.
Wow. Are you tonight? Wow. And are you keeping a kind of regular average speed for that, or is that just...
We're aiming to do it at 60 miles an hour tonight. 70 would be pushing it, but 60 miles an hour is doable. Just, we reckon.
Wow.
Although that's with a bit of a safety margin. So, but if you do it at 70 and then after 3 hours you find out that you're not going to make it, then a bit of a waste of time. So.
It's such a wicked little car. I mean, it must be great fun on a track. It must be really good fun. And have you managed the top speed out of it yet? Do you know what?
We took it up to 100 miles an hour.
Right.
I also had a very quick ride in a Range Rover. Wait, hang on a minute. What's happening? Llewellyn going in a Range Rover? A 3-ton gas-guzzling car usually used by mums to do the private school run? No, wait. This is an amazing electric converted Range Rover with just the most batteries you could possibly imagine. It has 6 vast battery packs secreted away in various parts of the enormous car that it is. 100% electric, plug and drive. Amazing car. Again, I didn't have a drive in this car, I just had a ride in it, but it was an amazing engineering feat. Really nicely done.
So I just want to point out it's making some really cool noises already. To viewers of Fully Charged, I'm presently sitting in a Range Rover, which in general terms is not one of my favourite cars, I'll be honest. When it's powered by a very thirsty fossil-burning V8, but this one is slightly different.
It's probably the only Range Rover in the world that you can sneak up on somebody.
Yes.
Quite an odd sensation to drive if you're used to a petrol one.
Yes, it's a 3-ton car.
It's about 2.7 tons.
Right.
So
that's quite a lot of transmission noise. But that's the belts, then, is it? That are making that noise.
Yeah, basically, because you don't have an engine to mask the noise, you notice it more.
Or, you do notice every other sound, don't you? Yeah.
Yeah. So in a vehicle of this type, the manufacturers would normally rely on engine noise to mask transmission noise and such.
Right.
So that's an area in which we're working very hard to minimise that as a noticeable thing, because You simply don't get it in a normal car due to the masking of an engine.
So this is this is the first one. I mean, you've got another one in production at the moment, but this is the first running model, is it?
Yeah, this is the first one, and the second one is basically being built at the moment.
Right.
So that one's due to be finished later this year, and it's basically a honed version of this one, where we've learnt and made significant improvements on the back of this vehicle, which obviously we did the development on.
I also spent some time at the Cheltenham Science Festival, and while I was there I did get to drive an amazing van, the Peugeot e-Expert, which is converted by Allied Electric Vehicles in Glasgow, and that is really, really impressive. Oh wow, look at that! That's that is fabulous.
It could literally be a switch. People are reassured by that.
Yes.
I mean, it could be
absolutely
a switch, but that sort of reassures them a bit, you know.
But it is actually just a switch then.
Oh, yes, it's a switch. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Just checking with width and with length, because the weight of the batteries, I would imagine, it does feel quite like there's some weight.
Oh yeah, well, it's a long wheelbase vehicle anyway.
Right.
And the battery is close to half a ton.
Right.
But of course, it's mounted underneath the floor pan, so it doesn't actually impact on the volume at all.
Right.
Handling is probably improved because the weight is it lowers the centre of gravity. It's like all electric vehicles. It's ideal for urban stop-start driving.
Absolutely perfect.
It's a joy. It's stress-free. It's quiet.
Yeah. No, it's so quiet, isn't it? When you think there's all the sort of, because they're always diesel, this size of thing, aren't they? And so there's always that rattling going on all the time when you're driving them. So do you know roughly what it costs to fill it then? Say if you were pretty close to empty, plug it in. It's very hard to judge because you're not doing it on a...
No, it depends on what you're paying for your electricity as well. You know, if you're sort of off-peak and what have you. But it works out roughly about a fifth the cost per mile of a diesel equivalent.
Does it? Wow.
So big savings in terms of fuel.
Yeah, that's fairly substantial, isn't it? And if you're driving one of these in a city all day, moving people around, that would make. I mean, it would probably be more because
absolutely. So when you're idling, which you're in central London, you spend far more time not moving and moving. You're using absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I like it very much. I want one.
Another one.
Yeah, there you go. You sold another. I don't have quite enough children to fill it, but it might make me get in the mood for more breeding if I had one of these. Brilliant. Thanks very much. That's
good.
Really good. Lovely. Excellent.
Thank you.
I'm going to put it in. Oh, I love that. Oh yeah. No, you can't get rid of that. That's wonderful.
It gives a bit of reassurance, doesn't it? You know.
Before that, I took part in the Brighton to London Eco Rally, where there was a whole load of hybrid and electric and hydrogen and ultra fuel efficient biodiesel cars driving from Brighton to London.
I drove down to Brighton the day before in this iNeve, plugged it in at the hotel overnight next to a Tesla. The next morning I met up with BBC's Peter Curran, who just completed his 4,500-mile Trans-Europe electric car marathon.
How you doing? Good to see you, man.
Very good, you did it. Well done.
Well, yeah,
fantastic.
Got here just about. Yeah. We decided not to clean it. We thought, it is genuine. Yeah.
This is a prototype sound generating device on a Prius, meant to make it safer at low speeds. Lots of well-known faces, including Liberal Democrat MP and Home Affairs spokesman Chris Hume.
Put on display the range of vehicles that we can have, and I hope it helps to lay to rest the myth that electric vehicles and low carbon vehicles are somehow souped up milk floats, because it simply isn't true.
The resistance out there from the general media and from consumers is still very, very, very high, surprisingly high. And it's events like this which are so important because they do engage people, and that's the big challenge.
These are normal cars, and yet at the same time they cost pence to fill up, pence to recharge. Who wouldn't want to spend a minimal amount of money recharging their vehicle to drive to and from work and save themselves money in the process? There's a fantastic economic, compelling argument for doing this.
I drove back to London with Guardian journalist Lucy Siegel, and she grilled me about electric cars. I'll include this in a future episode.
I've got some maths for you later.
Oh Lord. For me?
challenge, well, for all of us.
I failed my maths O-level.
So what all this frenetic activity shows is that there really is a lot going on in the world of electric cars right now. And there's so much more happening really, really soon. New battery technology, new charging technology, things like inductive plates set in the ground. You just park over it and your car charges while you leave it. Things like the GM Volt and the Ampera. Things like the corporate link-up between Tesla and Toyota to produce electric cars. Things like the battery swapping stations that are already operational in Tokyo. The massive rollout of recharging stations all over Europe and the USA. So in future I want to look in detail at all the cars that are coming out. I want to look at all the new technology that's coming out to do a little bit of in-depth research as to exactly how much energy goes into one of these cars and how much energy they use during their lifetime in comparison with petrol cars, and all the arguments I keep hearing again and again endlessly about the efficiency of eco diesels. But equally importantly, I want to look at how the electricity that we use to drive these cars along is actually produced in the first place, which is of course crucially important. So don't forget to join me next time on Fully Charged.